Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Albuquerque Business Podcast with your host, Jason Rigby and
You're down with ABQ.
ABQ. Welcome to the ABQ. The apparently the barbecue around here is pretty good too. They have a lot of. Have you seen the
Rudy's? I've had Rudy's.
Rudy's is
Rudy's
good.
Really good brisket.
And there's this one that's kind of like sci-fi looking. This guy that's got a trailer over here. He parks on Alameda some days, and it's this
I haven't seen that.
massive like smokehouse on wheels.
That's super cool.
Yeah, and it's got the it's got the teal in there and everything. So
I know
sharp.
sometimes they have it over here at we live on Alameda, but I know sometimes they have it over at Tin Can Alley.
Oh yeah,
They'll have like barbecue something, but I've never had it.
Mm-hmm.
I always picture Texas,
No,
or Kansas City or North Carolina.
Oh, Kansas City, like
Hands down,
gold barbecue sauce. Oh man,
It's like super sweet and
I really like it.
North Carolina is all like pork with that like tangy mustardy.
Oh yeah,
which is good too.
we need our own barbecue sauce out here with like the chili in it.
Well, I don't know why somebody hasn't marketed,
Why
even though it's all barbecue sauce is probably vegan.
Yeah,
I don't know why somebody hasn't marketed a vegan barbecue sauce. Just make it that name.
just call it vegan barbecue sauce.
Yeah. Then have it kind of like
Yeah,
make sure there's no eggs in
Whole
it.
Food, Whole Foods would be all over it.
Yeah, everybody would if you can market it that. So, speaking of vegans, no, I'm teasing. Let's talk about angels.
Yeah, let's talk about angels.
Angels, we have heard
We-
of.
We spend a lot of time here in Albuquerque, New Mexico area, networking. You got to know people. It's not a hard town to get to know people.
No, it's easy.
It's not totally enormous. People are generally pretty willing to talk. The pace of business is slower. It's not even close to it.
Well, it's just the culture's that way.
Yeah, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. If you can find workflows that work with how the culture paces itself, then you're golden. But in the area, there's a lot of people that are startups. They're really trying to make it happen. And the difficulty they find is venture capital or angel investors. For a good body of time, and the school here, like UNM, their whole idea is the commercialization of technologies that either happened at the school, which the school has essentially vetted, or commercialization of technologies that come out of the labs. So the Cottonwood Fund, Tramway, stuff like that, it's like, let's focus on biotechnology, or let's focus on this other hard technology that comes out of the labs. Either government vetted it or the state vetted it through the school already. Well, what does that do for all the other entrepreneurs that have all these other great ideas that are really making it happen? Because Albuquerque needs it, New Mexico needs it. And so when we go to these events, it's about, let's start having these conversations. Let's start networking with these angels, these VCs, and show them what is available outside of the old, very well-trodden technologies that they've been investing in. That there's a lot of really cool, inventive, creative things that are actually happening.
If you're an investor, though, and you've been investing for a while, let's say you're 60-year-old and you're a multimillionaire and you're investing, because that's why you invest, is you're hoping to get a 10x return or whatever, 100x return.
Yeah.
And the government vets it for the technology for you. Yeah. How awesome is that, though?
Oh,
I get how they've gotten pigeonholed.
Yeah.
The state, kind of whatever, universities, I imagine that. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, how many states there are, universities that are, vetting.
Correct.
But when you have Sandia Labs, which we met, and we're having him on the podcast, Mason.
Yeah, Mason.
Soon. And Los Alamos.
Mm-hmm.
When you have that level and then that being vetted, the opportunities that you have coming out of the labs, the technology that's coming out of there.
It's obvious because it's already going to be on the bleeding edge.
Everything's alien reversed anyways.
Thank you, ABQ. Thank you, ABQ. Yeah. No, but seriously, to the point, the Department of Energy has already put so much funds, time, and research of the world's brightest minds on the technology. Why would an investor be like, oh, commercialize it? Yeah, no problem. Government's done with it. And it's always a 40-year gap before the public gets to use any new technology anyway.
Yeah, it's almost they need a separate, I don't mean to be mean, but it's almost they need like a separate venture capitalist that's just with the labs. And then or have a ETF or something that because that would be something, I think anyone would be interested in outside of New Mexico.
Yeah, but
just getting technology from the labs.
They got the grip on it over here.
Yeah.
And that's why they don't talk about it too much. But for the people that are here, it's difficult to get investment. It's difficult to get those checks, 25, 50, 100, 250. 250 is probably about the absolute top end you would get from an angel out here. Seriously. Like, it's going to be difficult. And if you don't have this thing called the angel investment tax credit, which means they get to write off $2 million on their taxes against whatever investment they put into a startup, then it's going to be very difficult to attract their attention.
So you're talking now?
Yes,
right now. In Albuquerque right now, about the max is going to be about 250,000.
That's at the highest.
But your average,
average check size around here, 25 to 50.
So let's say we meet a guy and he makes amazing barbecue sauce.
Great.
And startup, and it's vegan barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
And Whole Foods said, yeah, we're committed. We're all in. Sprouts says we're all in. Smith says everybody says we're in.
Yep.
This is the greatest barbecue sauce known to man. Costco's in.
Yep.
They're going to be like, probably what, 50,000?
They won't even look at them. They won't look at them here.
Yeah. Oh, because it's like food or something?
Yeah, they have no interest. It's out. So you have essentially general investing profiles, general stuff. Could be, pretty much anything.
But technology is number one.
They're so physical technology, not even software, just physical technology and biopharmaceutical stuff. That's their focus. So even if you're making a bar, you're going to have to look for funds elsewhere. And this is a difficulty right now for the state. The state could really boom because having more of these generalist investors coming in increases the likelihood of unicorns. How many unicorns came from a deep tech portfolio? None. How many of them came because they came up with some sort of film we can put over a lamp to make plants grow faster? No, it doesn't help the general masses at large. So the probability that Albuquerque or New Mexico in general would hit a unicorn, just off of generalist investments that have happened here, it's not happening. They have to increase that probability by opening up the scope of what they're willing to invest into. And they also have limitations because the oil and gas funds that help, feed some of the other venture capital portfolios here, they have to use a portion of that to invest back into the state. What do you think it's going into?
That's the whole, and I've talked about this on this podcast, that's that whole scarcity mentality.
Correct.
Where it's a pizza, and I had another business person that was on, he actually talked about this, and he wrote an article on LinkedIn on this, a local guy in Albuquerque. So this isn't me coming up with this. But he's like, you don't realize the pizza can get bigger. Everybody thinks there's a set size pizza, and there's only so many slices. Mm-hmm. But the pizza can get bigger.
Right.
Or you can have multiple pizzas.
Right. So, if you have like one of the VC funds around here, they got $5 million, they got to invest. They're completely underinvested. They're not doing it. The deal flow is too slow. And not only is it slow, it is way, 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 way too niche. So, and then what does that do for the people in the local area? They're disincentivized to try anything. Why even jump to it? And what's a shame is that Albuquerque, like within New Mexico, is such a beautiful place to be.
Yes.
And if you look to where culture is headed, the generations underneath you, they want this sort of lifestyle, but they're not really incentivized to come here because of the difficulty of opportunity.
Well, opportunity and especially creativity happens when you have something that's unique and it's embedded in something. The culture here is unique. New Mexican culture is unique from anywhere else. So it can lend, if you have somebody that's indigenous to New Mexico, and then they have this culture grained inside of them, what they're going to create. I'm not talking, most of the people at the labs aren't from here.
No,
they're international.
They're coming from everywhere.
Everywhere, whether it's
like Operation Paperclip all over again.
Yes, wherever it's at. Yeah, so India, mass MIT. So I'm talking like homegrown New Mexican innovation. If you wrap that into the culture, you create something extremely unique. That's why food is so important here.
Honestly.
And that's why everybody says the food is the number one thing when they come to Albuquerque. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's unique.
It's unique.
You can't get it anywhere else.
Mama's tortillas, like by Bueno or something, or whatever it is you see it on the side of the road, that stuff slaps.
Yeah,
it's literally that good.
There's so many that are that good. Yeah.
They're literally that fantastic, but they don't have the reach because a lot of investors don't want to come in and help them get to that reach. And so the culture is it's like landlocked over here.
Yes.
It can't get outside of these bounds. It's just a little bit of a shame right now, but we need to start to apply more focus. We have to actually start to act like venture capital. You venture outside of what is normal, outside of what is comfortable, right? If you are an angel, you're going to take even bigger risks. Right now, you guys just seem like, smaller one-off institutional investors by yourself. No, we're not going to do that. We got these rigid portfolios. This is what we do. It's like, I get you have thematics with what you're doing, but you have to expand your perspective because you're limiting the amount of unicorns in the state. And if you look at the data, all the wealth generated in America since America was founded happened from entrepreneurialism. Going to school, sending kids to school here, great. That only helps for the preservation of wealth. If wealth is already there, which it isn't, the state needs to generate wealth.
Well, they have a problem. People that are in their 20s are moving out of the state.
Yeah, I know.
Rapidly. So you got to fix that. How do you fix that?
You got to say, look at all the opportunity here. Why should you stay?
Yes. Why should you stay? And that needs to be asked to the leadership of the city. Why should a 20-year-old stay?
Right. And I'm glad, all these networking events are going on, but guess what? That event we were at last night, 2 nights ago, what was the average age?
Dude, I never saw, I don't mean to be mean. I'm not being mean at all, but I made a joke with you. I had like a Nike tracksuit on, and everybody had suit jackets on at a tech.
Yeah. And the average age had to have been what, 50 plus?
50 plus, yeah, 100%.
What does that say then about creativity, the generations before that generation trying to make something happen?
Yes.
It's the same group just self-feeding one another, but there's no new lifeblood going into it.
Yeah, there was a guy that was, he just gave a really big speech, but he was a gamer, and then he's created something for, I think it's for soccer gaming or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just like, next.
Yeah, it's like, what?
I mean, but do you realize how big that industry is?
It's enormous.
And what the metaverse is going to be about?
No, I know that. And everyone's like, okay, great. No, but 100% seriousness. It's like, what are you all doing in suits? This is not business anymore.
No.
It doesn't happen going around in suits with the same people shaking hands. You have to welcome these new people, and a lot of them will be uncomfortable. A lot of these new entrepreneurs, they're trying to feel it out. Don't make them feel like they're some part of some outside group. They should be so warmly welcomed.
And I'm going to say this, Drew, he's the new president,
Drew
right?
Tolchin, new president of New Mexico Angels.
Angels. Yeah, he's a great guy, very nice.
Yep.
I've had him on the podcast twice.
Yep.
So I'm excited about the direction he's taking in Angels, and I told him we're going to have him on again, where we're going to interview him.
Correct.
And we'll get into that, what his vision for Angels is, and we'll ask him these hard hitting questions. But the thing that impressed me the most about the whole evening was him being welcoming, but it's almost like a Thanksgiving dinner when you're that new person there and you go in, there needs to be intention. He was running around trying to talk to everybody, which was, awesome.
But he was the only one.
Yes.
Of the entire collective.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other people only, again, went right back to their same old social cliques. It's like, what about all these faces in here?
And I've seen some venture capitalists do like speed rounds where they have it like dating. Those speed datings, and you have to sit in a seat, and then you go to the next seat, then you introduce yourself. We almost need something like that, so it's a little bit more. If people want to talk, then it's like, oh, okay, you can give me your, like a 3-minute spill or a minute and a half spill. Then you go to the next table and share that with that person. Now you're forcing people to talk instead of getting to little cliques.
And getting to little cliques, you have to force that sort of mixing in that environment. People need the chance to share their stories. And I feel like there's like this sort of discontinuity between like New Mexico Rainforest, the University of New Mexico holding that sort of networking event, the Million Cups presentations, Fat Pipe, the incubators that are in the areas. They're all here, but none of them are actually interconnected.
No, they're not. That each person is kind of having their own. You almost need like a not-for-profit website for New Mexico Tech
to bring it all together.
Yeah,
yeah, because
not maybe even not an institution, just a website,
just a hub and spoke website.
Yeah, that can put the dates, the times, or a Facebook group or something like that.
Yeah, but it's so discontinuous, and there's really like a lack of communication. It feels very siloed. If a rising tide lifts all ships. And if economic development in an area really wants to rise, there has to be support across this whole area. Even this corridor from Albuquerque up to Santa Fe, right? Or Albuquerque down to Las Cruces. There's talent along that whole strip.
Yeah.
We just have to find ways there should be a road show for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
In Albuquerque, down to Las Cruces, and all the way back up to Santa Fe. And you run through the cycles over and over.
Yes.
The events should actually channel in a flow, which they don't do. There's no communication between them.
No, there's none. And so we'll end it in this because I want people to understand this. So abqpodcast.com is the website.
Yeah.
What we're going to do, and as you go to these events, and as we go to these events, Alexander, I'm going to have just a really simple directory built on the website, and we're just gonna put those on the website,
like that.
Fat Pie,
love that.
1 cup, whatever.
Yeah, 1 million cup. Yeah,
I had to do that one. They won't want to be on my website now. It's fine. But I want to put all of them on the website. If it's a small business organization or whatever.
Can you romance me a bit?
Yes, that's the Captain Cup. I love it.
Yeah, but if we listen, you and I we don't want to bitch about things. So if we're saying something should be done, well, then we'll go do it. It's not going to be difficult.
No,
we just got to increase the communication. We got boils down to awareness.
Yes,
that's why we're here. This is the ABQ Business Podcast to talk about awareness of business and ABQ. And if we're boots on the ground, well, let's just put it in the airwaves.
Well, I mean, and this is a good part. I'm coming from Seattle. You're coming from Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
Us seeing the potential here.
Yeah.
To us, it's like you stumbled upon a gold mine.
Yeah.
Like you did the river and you saw some gold in there and there's big nuggets and you're like, holy smokes, this river's full of gold. And then every time I scoop in there, that's what Albuquerque is.
And if I go a little deeper, there's platinum.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
That's what Albuquerque is. There's no reason why Colorado is getting everybody moving in. And Austin, Texas is getting everybody.
Go to Denver. The vibe's it's not a blast.
This should be, Albuquerque is perfect. It's dry weather. There's no natural disasters. It's perfect for tech.
We have stability.
It's the safest.
We have stability for everything.
We could have so many miners, blockchain.
Oh,
yeah, dude, in the middle of New Mexico.
Go put it up by Shiprock by the power plant.
And put some windmills up.
Yes. Yes.
You got so much wind here and solar. Put wind and solar, and you're building them in New York.
Yeah, why?
Build them in New Mexico.
Have the consistent westerly wind in New Mexico power your blockchain mining.
Yeah, and Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Well, let's step up and Mayor, let's throw some Bitcoin around.
Let's get a little wild.
Why can't we have Bitcoin on the sheets?
There's no reason we can't.
Yeah,
we can incentivize businesses to use it.
Yes,
it's an asset.
Yes.
That's going
to be our next show.
Okay.
Our next show is going to be how can we use cryptocurrency and blockchain for the city.
I love it.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on the Albuquerque Business Podcast. And thanks to our sponsor, RigbyDigital.com. Make sure to subscribe and share. And go to ABQPodcast.com. Get show notes, resources, and links to everything we talked about today to help you navigate your journey as an entrepreneur and business owner.